Good day, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you guys. Thank you for coming in to the broadcast today. I am your host, Apostle Karen Proctor. God bless you once again. Happy Monday. I hope that you are having a great week so far, a great day, shall I say. If this is your first time tuning in to the broadcast, I'm going to ask you to put up a 1 that lets me know that you are a first-time viewer. If you are a returning viewer, I just want to welcome you back to my page. God bless you. The music that you are hearing, I do not own the rights to the music. God bless you. Happy Monday. Why don't you go ahead and share the broadcast? Hallelujah for me. Lady Sherry, thank you for joining. At Dice, God bless you. Go ahead and share the broadcast. I just want to share with you a few things that God has been placing on my heart over a couple of weeks. And it's been a little bit of hindrance, but I promised myself today that I'm going to push past all of the hindrance and just come and share with you guys just a little bit. So go ahead and share. Sharing is caring. And if this is your first time tuning in, I want to introduce myself to you. I am Apostle Karen Proctor. I am also a Christian author, an empowerment life coach, and also a Christian counselor. And so I want to introduce a few of my books to you, and then I'm going to go ahead and talk about this very important topic. God bless you. Go ahead and share. Give me a minute while I adjust my camera just a little bit. I want to adjust just a little bit. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for sharing. If you have not subscribed to this page, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification button. That way when I am on, you will be notified that I am here. And so, with that being said, I want to introduce you to my latest book, The Making of God's Prophets. It's a process. This is an ebook. You can get it from me, or you can go to Amazon.com. The second to the last, Prophets and the Prophetic, Fulfilling Your Call. Prophets and the Prophetic, Fulfilling Your Call. All of these books can be purchased through me. If you would go to my website at www.karenproctor.com, or inbox me. This is another one. Coach Me, Destiny is Calling. I did mention that I am a certified life coach. His Blood, Supernatural Power and Redemption. Say It Ain't So, Power in the Word. My very first book, Core Knowledge, Vital to a Successful Ministry. All of those books, if you can go to Google my name, Karen, Karen, Proctor, Proctor, under books, all of my books will come up. Or, again, you can go to my website. Thank you guys for coming in. I really do appreciate it. And so the purpose for me coming on Periscope, sorry about that. The purpose for me coming on today is to just share a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. Guys. I'm sorry. The purpose for me coming on Periscope today is to talk about the mother-daughter relationship. And not only the mother-daughter relationship, but to launch a new program. And the new program is woman-to-woman mentoring. And might I add, woman-to-woman Christian mentoring. I see a familiar name there, Broadway. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. This is a new program I'm launching. Woman to Woman Christian Mentoring. Who better to mentor a woman other than another woman? And so if you haven't seen the video from a couple of days ago where I go a little in depth on why this program is available and what this program is all about, I'm launching it now. Well, I'm in the preparation stage, and in August, this program will be available. We're going to have a meeting of the minds in August. We're going to do some mentoring. I have a team of experienced, professional, and also Christian women that's going to be a part of it. It's going to be a virtual summit. It's going to be a virtual summit in August. I don't have the exact date now, but the purpose for me being here is just simply to launch it and to tell you what it's going to be about. And oh, let me mention this. I just made a private group here on Periscope. It's called Woman to Woman Mentoring. And if you want to be a part of that, we're going to have prayer, woman's prayer once a month right here. Thank you, Broadway. Sounds good. Thank you. And so this mentoring program is going to do what the Bible tells us. He says that the older woman should train the younger women. And so we're going to have a team of women that's going to come and speak to you about marriage. One of the ladies has been married for over 30 years. I have a young lady. Also, in addition to the seasoned woman, I have a young lady that's been married for 8 years that's going to be sharing tips for the younger woman. And the seasoned woman is just going to be sharing tips from her 30-something years of marriage. We're going to be giving you tips on how to be a virtuous woman. And we know the Bible says in the book of Proverbs 31 that the virtuous woman knew how to take care of her house, knew how to please her husband, took care of her children, even her handmaidens, and she was also a businesswoman. So we're going to be giving you tips on that as well. And even for the businesswoman, those of you that feel like God has called you into business and you got an idea, or maybe you have already launched it and you just need some tweaking, or you need some mentoring from someone that has already did it. So we're going to be doing a little bit of business. We're going to be doing a little bit of marriage. We're going to be talking about the everyday woman. All of that is going to be a virtual summit coming in August, and it's only going to be a small fee. This is a small fee for the amount of speakers we have, for the amount of wisdom and nuggets that we're given. The small fee is $65, and with that $65, you're going to get a beautiful journal. You're going to get a beautiful cup. You're going to be able to have these videos to go over. You're going to have a chance to ask your questions. You're going to have a chance, an opportunity to hook up with a mentor. So that's a small fee for everything that's going to be given. You can't put a fee on certain things, but because of the cost of doing this, we had to add a cost to be associated with it. So thank you guys for coming in. Go ahead and share the broadcast with your friends, if you will. I do appreciate it. And like I said, I want to talk about the mother-daughter relationship, which is a very, very unique relationship. So if you're just tuning in, or even if you come to watch the replay, you're watching Woman to Woman Christian Mentorship with your host, Apostle Karen Proctor. So go ahead and share. Or if you have a daughter, a mother, a wife, a sister, a co-worker, or some woman in your life that needs to hear this, I'm going to ask you to share it out with her. And so I want to get started by reading a passage of scripture. Yes, I did say that this is Woman to Woman Christian Mentoring. So we're not going to try to mentor you outside of the will of God. All the mentoring is going to be in the will of God. And so I want to read Psalms 127, verse 3 through 4. It says, "Lo, children are a heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of his youth." So let me go back to verse 3. Children are a heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is a reward. So the word of the Lord has been read. Make it a blessing to the hearer and the doer. Again, if you're just coming in, you are tuned into Woman to Woman Christian Mentorship. So today I want to talk about the mother-daughter relationship. It's a very, very unique relationship. It's a very unique relationship. And if you are in America, I don't know about another country, but in America, we have something that we call Mother's Day. And we just celebrated that a week and a half ago. And with that being said, this is something that the Lord just really dropped in my spirit. The mother-daughter relationship. A lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of young girls, young ladies, even older women are kind of stagnated in their walk in life because of a tumultuous relationship between a mother and a daughter. And then you have a lot of women that excel in life. Excel. Why? Because they had and still have a great relationship with their mom. And so moms are very unique to her children's life. Fathers are unique as well. We need both mother and father. But today I'm talking about the mother. See, for 9 months, most of the time it's 9 months. God designed it 9 months that the child would live on the inside of the mother's womb. And they are connected by the umbilical cord. And because they have been connected for 9 months, that child depended on the mom in the womb. And so when the child come out, it's still dependent on the mom. As a baby, the child depends on the mom to lactate, to take milk from her breast, to survive. And so as this child grows through life, the child still depends on the mother. When the child becomes an adult, they are independent of the mother, but the child is so often looked back to the mother. Even as an adult, you're no longer the manager of their life as an adult. You're no longer the supervisor of their life as an adult. You manage when they're small. You supervise as they become to teen years. And as they become adults, if it's a good relationship, then the mom sometimes act as a consultant. I like to put it like that. Sometimes the mom act as a consultant when the adult child is going through different phases of life or whatever. They sometimes come back to mom, especially if she is a mom of wisdom, and if she is a praying mom. Sometimes they reach back and say, "Mom, what do you think about this?" or "Mom, what do you think about that?" Just like a consultant. So that's why I say the mother and child relationship is very unique, and especially the mother and the daughter relationship is very unique. A mother's love is one of the strongest and the richest kind of love it is, next to God. Because God has the most incredible, the most amazing kind of love it is. But apart from God, the love of a mother for her child or her children is so strong, so amazing, so incredible, no matter what age that child is. And I'm talking about a loving mom, because I do know that some children were raised up under some very difficult and strenuous relationships. So I'm going to get into two aspects of it. That mom that just was the rock for her children. And then, as fate would have it, some children were raised up in some situations that, how could I say it, was not feasible for a child to be raised in. So if you have not shared the broadcast, I'm going to ask you to share it. And so, as a mother, I'm a mother of 3, and children don't come with instructions. No, they don't come with instructions. We learn as we grow. But there are times when we do have advice from other mothers. Perhaps your very own mother, your grandmother. It could have been an aunt, a godmother, or someone that has advised you along the way on how to go through this process of becoming a mother. And when I think about a mom not coming with, a mom is not giving instructions, it's like you buy a computer, they give you instructions. But when you have a child, you may get some instructions from doctors and other people. But when you take that baby home, it's just you and that baby. Yes, when I say you and the baby, yes, you may have father there. You may have the father there. I'm not saying that the father is not there. But when you take that baby home, most of the time it's up to the mom to figure that thing out. And so with that being said, I thought of the very first mother. The very first mother in mankind was Eve. You know, Adam and Eve were the first human beings that God created. So Eve was the first mother. Eve did not have a pattern on how to rear her children, how to raise her children. And then I do know that God gives mothers natural instinct. Yes, he does. He gives us instinct. But prior to Eve, she didn't have another mother there. And I know it's a lot of flack when it comes down to Eve. People say, oh, if she didn't do this and if she didn't do that, mankind wouldn't have been in sin. Well, Eve didn't have a woman prior to her. Eve was the first woman. Eve was the very first woman, the very first mother, and she just had to go on the instincts that God gave her. She didn't have a mother that could mentor her. She didn't have a grandmother. She didn't have an aunt. She didn't have a godmother. She didn't have the church mother. She didn't have a neighbor. Nobody. Eve had to figure this thing out on her own. And so that's like some mothers today. They have to figure things out on their own. They don't have a mentor in their life. They don't have, even though every woman, not every woman, every person, shall I say, was born of a woman. The only people that was not born of a woman was Adam and Eve. God created them. And then from Adam and Eve, all the nations of the earth came. So, just like Eve, who did not have a mother to mentor her and to train her how to be a good mother or a good wife, but right now we want to talk about mothers. She didn't have someone to mentor her. She had to go by her instincts only. So she had to learn as she went along into her motherhood. And so that's like some young women today. Even though they were born of a woman, perhaps the mother was not there for whatever reason to train them how to be a mother, how to grow up to be a holy woman of God, or how to be a holy wife. But this is why this mentorship program is very much needed. And this is why the Holy Spirit is causing me to launch it, because there are a lot of broken young women out here. There are a lot of broken older women that's just really need someone to speak life over them, need someone to resuscitate them and revive them, restore them, just through a mentoring relationship. And we know mothers, again, are very unique. There's nothing like the love of a mother. There's nothing like the strength of a mother. And so with that being said, I want to tell you about this story of this woman that came from Canaan. And she had a daughter that was vexed with a devil. And she heard about Jesus, that Jesus could heal, deliver, and set free. And so she went to Jesus and cried to Jesus because of her child. And see, a good mother would not just stand by and see their children in a situation and not try to find help for that child. So that mother, according to Matthew chapter 15, verse 21 through 28, she sought the help from Jesus. Even though Jesus says, what do I have to do with you? That woman still insisted that Jesus do something about her daughter. I'm not going to go in depth, but I want you to read this story, Matthew chapter 15, verse 21 through 28, to show you the love of a mother, that when her child is going through, a good mom is going to try to do everything in her power to bring healing, deliverance, and restoration to that child. And another thing about a good mother is, not only when her child is vexed with a demonic spirit or a type of sickness, but if someone mess with that mother child, you can rest assured that that mom is going to do any and everything within her power to bring release to her child. In the book of Genesis chapter 21, verse 10 through 12, it talks about the story of Sarah having a baby, Isaac, the promise that God gave to her in Abraham. Even though before Sarah told Abraham that he could get with the bondswoman to make a baby because she was just so desperate to have a baby. That's a whole nother story, the desperation of some women. But the point I want to make in this is, Abraham did make a baby with the maid, but when it came time that God did bring the promise to Sarah, and those two boys grew up and they began to fight. Ishmael was the oldest brother, and he began to taunt Isaac. And when Sarah began to look out and hear the scream, the cry of her son, she told Abraham, look at here, you're going to have to get him and his mama out of this house. So in other words, she said, don't bother with my child. Everything was good between them. Everything was copacetic between them until the two children began to fight. So that's another thing about a good mother. Don't bother my child. And even sometimes mothership, I'm taking you through this journey of being a mom. And then we're going to talk about some struggles between mother and daughter. So the last one that I want to mention, the journey of a mother, and how some of the ways in which a mother acts when it comes down to her children. Genesis chapter 25, verse 22 through 24. Sometimes as mothers, you're placed in some very hard situations. And sometimes children don't even know the hard situations that mothers are placed in. And as a mother of 3, I know I've been placed in some hard situations. And sometimes these situations is even between your own children, between siblings. And so one of the situations I want to talk about is Genesis chapter 25, verse 22 through 24. It talks about the story of Rebekah. This is Isaac's wife. And when she was pregnant, she felt something in her belly that was unusual feeling. And she began to pray to God and ask God, what is this feeling? I know I'm pregnant, but it just seemed like some rumbling and some tumbling is going on. And God answered Rebekah back. And he told her, he said, there are 2 nations in your belly. Meaning that she was pregnant with twins. And these 2 sons of hers started that fighting process right there in the womb. So a lot of times mothers go through things with their children, that sibling rivalry. Sometimes children think that parents show favoritism. And it could very well be the case. But it's not all the time that it's favoritism. If you will see by this story of Rebekah, Esau and Jacob were fighting each other, were at odds in the womb. And then there's another story that I'm thinking about. I believe it's in the book of Kings. A mother go through some difficult things. It's not easy being a mom, but God give the mother strength to go forward and to go on and to raise up these children as a blessing unto her and to raise them up unto him. And so I think about the story of these 2 women. They were sleeping in the same house and both of them had newborn babies. One of the babies died at night. And the woman baby that died, she got rid of that baby. The Bible don't say what happened, but I imagine she did away with that baby. And when the other woman was sleeping, she took the woman baby, because both of them had the babies of the same age, both being males, took the living child and took it as her own. And so the mother of the living child went to Solomon, because you got to understand, she knew her child. She knew her baby. Irregardless of what trick that other mother tried to play, she went to Solomon for him to solve the dispute. And the end of the story was, Solomon was a man of wisdom. He said, okay, well, I tell you what, we're going to take the sword. Bring me my sword, and I'm gonna cut the baby in half, and I'll divide the baby between you 2. He did that as a wisdom tactic. And the mother, he used that to know who baby it really was, because the mother that was the actual mother of this baby, the surviving baby, say, you know what, let her have it. And why did she say that? Because she could not stand the thought of her baby being cut into part. And this is how Solomon knew who the real mother was. I say mothers go through some things in life, but God give us strength on the journey to get through. And if you haven't been raised by a mother that knew how to go through the journey, and if you have been abused or neglected or rejected from your mother, by your mother, I want you to know today that there is healing. There is healing. God would always send you someone that can speak into your life. And today we have surrogate mothers. In the natural, when a woman can't hold a child on her own. And so even in the spirit, God is giving surrogate mothers as well. Women of God that will speak into your life, that will hold you up, that will show you the way, that will guide you, that whatever abuse and neglect that was had in your life before, that you don't have to stay there, that you can move past the hurt, you can move past the pain, because there is healing for you. This is what Woman to Woman Christian Mentorship is all about. And so I just want to talk about some of the struggles of a mother and a father. A mother and a daughter. Some of the struggles. You know, some people, some women consider their daughters to be what they say today, my mini me. My mini me. Why? Why is she my mini me? Because sometimes they look just like you. They look just like us. Sometimes they act just like us. And so we call it our mini me. Even though I don't look like my natural mom, deceased, our complexions are very different. I have a dark complexion like my deceased father. And I would think that I look more like my father than my mother. But I got a lot of my mother ways. That spiritual side of her, I got that from my mom. And even today, people that knew my mom and know me always tell me, you sound just like your mom. Oh my God, you sound just like your mom. Why do they say that? Because I was raised by my mom. And so I say a lot of the things that she say. And I have the wisdom that my mother had. And so this is why some people consider their daughters to be their mini-me. And Ezekiel chapter 16 and 44, it says that the daughters shall act. Wait a minute, I don't want to butcher the word. I don't want to misquote it. So let me just move right on to my Bible. Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 44. I don't want to butcher the word. 16 and 44. It says, behold, everyone that uses proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. As is the mother, so is her daughter. So, implying the way that the mom is, most of the time, I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time, it's the same way for the daughter. And sometimes we inherit the blessings of our mother, and sometimes we inherit the curse of our mother. And so, if that's your life, on the negative end, like I said, God wants to heal you. And God wants to restore you. God wants to revive you. So, excuse me, some of the struggles of the mother is, mother-daughter relationship, shall I say, is controlling relationships. Controlling, want to control everything that the child do. I mean, I know when you raising a kid and the kid is an adolescent, but when a kid get a certain age, yes, they may live in your house and they have to do what we say, because the Bible does tell us to train up our children. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6, to train up a child in the way that they should go, that when they get old, they won't depart. But what I mean by this controlling situation is, do everything I say. And I'm talking about in terms of when it comes to a point in time in their child life where they can begin to make little decisions. And even when the mother-daughter relationship is, they become adults, some mothers still want to control. And so this is one of the problems in a mother-daughter relationship. At times we got to know how to lean back and trust what we have placed in our children. I know one time my son and I were just hanging out together, having a cool mom and son day. He came to visit me and we was hanging out, and oh my goodness, his driving, I can't tolerate. And so I was kind of, I guess he could see the expression on my face, like kind of in fear, anxiety. And he said to me, "Mom, do you trust the 18 years that you raised me? The 18 years that you poured into my life?" He said, "You don't trust that?" He said, "Now it's time to let go and trust what you put in me." That was a big one to swallow. Yes, sometimes we have to trust. If you raise them up in the way that they should go, sometimes we have to trust the process. And when we don't trust the process, it becomes a controlling relationship that breaks what could be a good relationship. Break it apart. Now here is another one of the struggles of the mother-daughter relationship, is a critical relationship. And what I mean by critical relationship is always criticizing whatever the child does, whether they are young adult, preteen, or just a grown woman, another grown woman, woman to woman, always criticizing or always overbearing. And when we live in that state of being, always criticizing, whereas the child never do nothing that's good enough for you, or overbearing, sometimes we have to realize that, I'm talking in a sense now more so when they are young adults or a grown child, sometimes you have to learn to let go. And like I said before, trust the process. And even if it's not what you think is good for that person, we got to learn to let them make their own decisions. My mom said, it comes a day when every man must sit on their own bottom. Everybody got to sit on their own bottom, whether it's the way you like things done or not. We have to learn how to relinquish control, not criticize, but say, you know what? If you love it, I like it. Long as you're happy, I'm happy. So yeah, another one of the struggles between mom and daughter is a relationship where they're always fighting. And sometimes this happens from the mother perspective, is because the mother may have made mistakes that she doesn't want her daughter to make. And so she wants to live her life vicariously through the eyes her daughter. So it's everything. You're fighting about everything, fighting about weight, fighting about what career you're going to take, fighting about your boyfriend, fighting about your husband, fighting about the way you raise your kids, fighting about the way you cook. And maybe it's because it's the way that she was raised. Now, I'm not blaming all moms, because some daughters can be a piece of work as well. So if this is you as a daughter, then maybe you need to look at yourself. Maybe you compare your mom to your friend girl mom. Your mom is not your best friend mother, and your mother is not the same. So you can't come to your mom and tell your mom, this is what her mother provides for her. This is what her mother do for her. No, that's an insult. So it's just fighting. And then sometimes this stuff come through generational lines. This was the way with the great-grandmother and her mother. This was the way with your mother and you. And it's just generational. But it can be broken. And then the last one I want to talk about is the dismissive relationship. Whereas you're not paying her any attention, she's not paying you any attention. Everybody is nonchalant with each other. Nobody really pay attention to each other. Nobody really listen to each other. It's no communication. No communication. Everybody is living in their own world. Why? This thing could be generational as well. Some people were raised that the mother only gave them food and a place to live and a ride to school, but it really wasn't no communication. Maybe it could be because of, again, the way she was raised, the way her mother presented herself to her, your mom and daughter. And so all of this stuff is just passed down, believe it or not, sometimes from generation to generation. But there's always a way that this stuff can be broken. And as long as you have breath in your body, you can begin again. So whatever situation you may find yourself in, I want you to know that it can be worked out through effective communication and prayer. Whatever mother-daughter situation you find yourself in, it can be worked out. You may have to go to counseling. Now, if you are a viewer that's like me, from the African American heritage, most of the time counseling therapy is dismissed because people always felt that something was wrong with you if you went to counseling or you went to therapy. But I'm so glad to say these days, my people, we are embracing counseling and therapy a little bit more. So if you have a tumultuous relationship with your mother or with your daughter, you may want to try some effective counseling and some effective prayer. And like I said, the mother and daughter relationship is a very unique relationship. Either the daughter wants to be like the mom or don't want to be like the mom. Either the mom wants the daughter to be like her or don't be like her because of the things that she went through, no matter what it is. But it's a very unique relationship. It is a very precious relationship. It is a very beautiful relationship. My mom went on to be with the Lord about 9 or 10 years ago. And I don't have no regrets or when she was living. I could have been a better daughter. I could have been this or that. I'm not saying I was a perfect child. Even as an adult, as a kid, I didn't try to bring too many problems to her. But I did have my growing pains, because it is human. But my growing pains were not that difficult. Not to try to sound good shoes, because no, nobody's goody good shoes, but it's just the truth. If she was living, she would have told you the same thing. I tried not to give my mom too many problems. And even as a young adult and middle-aged adult, I tried to be the best daughter that I can be. And even this past Mother's Day, it just really hit me very hard to just look around the church and people celebrating their mom, and to know that I don't get that opportunity anymore. Yes, I get to rest in the memories that we had. And I thank God to this day for my mom being a woman of God, a godly woman that was able to pray me out of situations, that was able to teach me the power of prayer, taught me how to rub 2 pennies together and make it $1, taught me how to cook a meal from scratch, taught me how to call on the name of the Lord. So if you do have that tumultuous relationship and you still have your mom, make it right. Make it right. Don't look at who's right or who's wrong. Just say, you know what? We're going to start over. We're going to start over, because we don't want this bad blood to be a part of our legacy. And you know, I have 2 daughters of my own. And what could I say to this? I didn't have those difficult problems with my daughters growing up, going against me, doing things that I told them not to do. So I want to thank God for that. But there were times when they probably looked at me and thought I was the villain, because only I was trying to raise them up in the way that they should go, that when they get old, they won't depart. But I thank God that whatever growing pains we went through, we got through. And my baby girl called me when she was in, I think it was her first year of college. She called me one day and said, Mom, I just want to thank you for the way that you raised me. And I was like, what did you just say? And she was like, yeah, because these girls here on the campus, they are off the chain. And I told her, I said, I still remember this conversation vividly. I said, so when I was saying thou shalt not, and do this and don't do that, you thought I was the villain. She said, yeah. She said, but now I want to thank you. Because she said, some of these kids, one of the things she mentioned, she says, some of these children don't even know how to cook. Some of these children don't even know how to wash their clothes. She said, I had to show my roommate how to sort out laundry. And so, yeah, you go through some hiccups as a mother. And sometimes they do look at you as the villain. But when they become adults and they can look back and see that what you were doing was for their good, for the good of their survival in the long run. And I just want to read a little note here from a Mother's Day card. This is from my oldest daughter from this Mother's Day. Oh no, it's not Mother's Day. It was birthday, because my birthday is a few days before Mother's Day. So I thought this was the Mother's Day card, but this is the birthday card. It say, happy birthday to a woman I always admired and tried my best to mirror as I became a woman. It is because of you I like dressing up. Because of you I know God and have the gift of unknown tongues. Because of you I am independent and a hard-working woman. Everything I saw in you, I am today. Now that's a blessing. Everybody may not share my story as a mom, but if you are coming from the other side of the spectrum as a daughter or mother, where it wasn't good or it's not good. And I had a grown lady to call me about a week ago talking about the lack of the relationship with her mom. And so this is not only for young people. This is for middle-aged people and older people as well. So if you need counseling, if you need mentoring, or if you just need prayer, don't be afraid to reach out and to get what you need to make the relationship between you and your daughter or you and your mom a better one, because it's a good one. Right now, today, I started out kind of moping because there are some things in my heart and in my mind that I just wanted to share and to be able to bounce off someone. And that someone would have been like another woman, like that mother, my mother, but I didn't have her. So what I'm saying to you is, get it right with your mom. Get it right with your daughter. Because it's a very beautiful relationship. That it can be a very beautiful relationship that God has ordained. So I am Apostle Karen Proctor with Woman to Woman Mentoring, Christian Mentoring. And if you want to be a part of this Woman to Woman Mentoring, right here on Periscope, you can join the group. I've already created the group, so just look for the name, Woman to Woman Mentoring. And if you want to be a part of the Virtue Summit in August, where we're going to be talking all things woman, tips on being a virtuous woman, a lady in waiting, marriage, the Christian businesswoman. It's going to be an awesome summit, Virtue Summit. And we have some goodies that's going to be given to you as well. And then you can gain a mentor just to, mentor you through some things. And if you want to just keep in touch and know more about it, when we get the date to plug in, you can email me at MissKarenProctor@gmail.com, or you can go to my website where it says Connect with the Apostle and leave a note there. So God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. And even if you're coming into the replay, you can still put those hearts and you can still share the video out. God bless you for now. Take care.